You ever wonder what's really going on inside someone's head? Turns out you don't need some complex psychological test. Sometimes the key is as simple as asking them to tell you a story. And today, we're going to unpack a framework that shows you exactly what to listen for.
So let me ask you, how well can you really read people? We all think we're pretty good judges of character, right? But what if I told you there's a way to sharpen that skill, to understand not just what people think, but how they think?
Get this, that's the whole idea right here. A simple 3-minute story can reveal more than an entire hour of small talk. It's like a direct window into a person's mental organization, their focus, their social awareness. It's an incredibly powerful tool, just hiding in plain sight.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start with the basic framework, then we'll dive into the 3 key dimensions you need to look for. After that, I'll give you a handy guide to pull it all together, and we'll wrap up with a really surprising insight about intelligence.
All right, so what is this thing really? It's a technique that psychologists and communication coaches use to get a quick read on someone. All you have to do is ask them to tell you a story. Tell me about something that happened yesterday. And you can literally observe their thought patterns as they happen.
First up, Dimension 1, the blueprint. This is all about the fundamental structure of their story. You can think of it like the foundation of a house. Is it solid? Is it well organized? Or is it just a jumbled mess?
Any good story has these 3 parts. It's just natural. First, you get the background, where and when. Second, you get the action, what actually happened. And third, the outcome, the result or maybe how it made them feel. When you hear that clear sequence, it's a great sign that their logic and organizational skills are firing on all cylinders.
Okay, now this slide is so important because it highlights a crucial difference. Look at the person on the left. They might be pausing, searching for words, but you can tell the structure of the story is still there in their mind. The thought is clear, even if the speech is a little choppy. Now, look at the right. The story is just all over the place. You listen to that and you're left thinking, wait, what just happened? So we're not listening for perfect speaking skills. We're listening for that underlying blueprint.
All right, next up we have Dimension 2, focus. So once you've got a feel for the structure, the next question is, can they stay on track? Are they driving that train of thought down a single line, or is it constantly veering off onto sidetracks?
And this is just a classic example of that loss of focus. The story starts, but then, bam, a new thought pops in about a coffee shop, and suddenly we're hearing about a college roommate. Now, of course, this can be a trait associated with ADHD, but the key here isn't to play doctor. It's just to observe. The real test is, if you gently nudge them back, hey, so what happened at the supermarket? Can they get back on track? That ability to self-correct tells you a lot.
And now for our third, and maybe most subtle dimension, the social radar. This is where we go beyond just the mechanics of the story and start looking at their social perception. I mean, are they even aware of you, the listener? Are they talking with you or just at you?
So what are the clues here? Well, there are a couple of big ones. First, are they watching your face? Do they notice if you look confused or bored? Someone who's socially tuned in will adjust on the fly. They might speed up or ask, you know what I mean? Second, are they just drowning you in pointless details? That can be a sign they're not really thinking about what you, the listener, actually need to know.
This slide just nails the difference. On the left, you've got a speaker who's in a conversation, even if they're the one talking. They're connected. But on the right, that person has switched into information download mode. This can sometimes be a trait in people with Asperger's, where the goal is to deliver data accurately, not necessarily to create a social back and forth.
And a huge piece of this social radar puzzle is emotion. I mean, does their story actually have any feeling in it? Do they say things like, I felt so awkward, or the clerk seemed embarrassed? Because a story that's just a sequence of events without any emotional color, well, that's not really a story, is it? It's more like a report.
Okay, so we've covered the 3 dimensions, the blueprint, the focus, and the social radar. Now let's tie it all together into a practical tool that you can actually use. Think of this next slide as your pocket cheat sheet for reading people.
Now listen, this is so important. This is not about labeling people. This table is just showing some potential patterns. For instance, if someone's story keeps branching off, it could indicate some ADHD traits. If they give you a ton of facts but don't really make eye contact, it could be a style sometimes seen in people with Asperger's. Just think of this as a set of clues, not conclusions. It's a starting point for understanding, not a final judgment.
All right,
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one last thing. It's a fascinating, kind of counterintuitive idea that experts have noticed, and it might just flip your whole idea of what intelligence sounds like.
Let's just imagine a scenario. 5 people all see the exact same minor car accident. You ask each one of them, hey, what happened? Who do you think gives the smartest answer? The one with the most details? The one who tells the longest story? And here it is, the answer. The person with the highest cognitive ability often tells the shortest, clearest, most focused story. And why is that? Because their brain has already done the heavy lifting of filtering out all the noise, identifying the most important points, and arranging them perfectly. Clarity is a huge sign of a well-organized mind.
So that really brings us to the end of this breakdown. But for you, it's kind of like a new beginning for your conversations, right? The next time you ask that super simple, everyday question, how was your day? Don't just hear the words. Listen for the structure. Listen for the focus. Listen for the feeling behind it. You are going to be amazed at what you discover.